Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the public. Good morning, Charm TV. The February 27, 2025 proceedings of the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City will now begin. Please take this opportunity to turn off or mute all of your electronic devices. The board is now in session. Mr. Chair, there are a few preliminary matters. First, if you are here for a particular case, if you haven't already done so, please check the docket that is on the door of this room to make sure your case is being heard, and or come in and check in with us at the dais. Two, the following violations on today's docket have been postponed. Number 8, Jamie L. Belvueno, Bravo and Alejo J. Martinez, El Oasis Restaurant y Discotheque, Inc., trading as El Oasis Restaurant y Discotheque, 3919 through 21 Eastern Avenue, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Case number 9, Joyce Young, 316 through 318 Guilford Avenue, LLC, trading as Iconic Assembly Room, 316 through 18 Guilford Ave, Class B beer, wine, and liquor arena license. Case number 16, Andrew Lanzinski and Lonnie Shawless, Crockett and Tubbs, Inc., trading as Nola Seafood and Spirits, 32 through 36 East Cross Street, Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. 23, Andrew Wheeler, locals only, excuse me, LLC, trading as locals only, 25 East Cross Street, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Excuse me. Monetary penalty in lieu of hearings in accordance with Section 12-2105A of the Maryland Iconic Beverages and Cannabis Article and Liquor Board Rule 2.16, following licensees participate in the monetary penalty in lieu of hearings program by voluntarily admitting the violations as charged and paying the corresponding fines. 1, Christian Leopoldo Rugal and Carlos Navarro Sotelo, Amigos Bar, Inc., trading as Amigos Bar, 400 South Eaton Street, Class D beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization. The fine paid was $500. Case 2, Harry R. Miller IV, Abbey Bistro, LLC, trading as Abbey Burger Bistro, 1041 through 43 Marshall Street, Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization. Violation of Rule 3.033, records. Violation of Rule 3.034, 2 little I, records. Violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization. And finally, violation of Rule 3.033, records. The total fine paid was $2,700. Case 3, Xenia M. Johns and Neil K. Vicks Ziascos, LLC, trading as Ziascos, 1313 East Pratt Street, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.05, prohibited hours, fine paid $500. Case 4, John Kovacevic, Amendment 21, Inc., trading as Amendment 21, 49, 24 through 26 Hartford Road, Class A, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.171, storage. Violation of Rule 4.172, storage. Total fine paid $300. Case 5, Min Quang Vo, Buttonwood Group, LLC, trading as the Buttonwood, 527 North Charles Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 3.03, 2 little I, records. Total fine paid $300. Case number 6, Dwaru A. Bullock Jr., Winston Lounge Bar and Grill, LLC, trading as Winston Lounge Bar and Grill, 2343 East Monument Street, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.05, prohibited hours, and violation of Rule 3.033, records. Total fine paid $800. Case number 7, Rodney Brown, PR, 627 Duncan Restaurant, LLC, trading as Janae's 2, 625 through 27 North Duncan Street, Class D beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 3.052, alcohol awareness certification. Violation of Rule 3.03, 2 little I, records. Total fine paid $600. That was a mouthful, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on to the cases before us today, sir. Case 10, Bijou Penland and Blanca Pescara, New Ecstasy Bar and Restaurant LLC, trading as My Cousin's Place, 3925 through 27 East Lombard Street. Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare on October 7th, 2024, loud music. Violation of Rule 3.092, restroom facilities and health regulations on October 7th, 2024. Violation of Baltimore City Health Code, Section 9-3062, 1 little I. Violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare on October 27th regarding loud music. Violation of Rule 3.092, restroom facilities and health regulations on October 27th. Violation of Baltimore City Health Code, Section 9-3062, 1 little I. Violation of Rule 3.082, sanitation and safety on October 27th, 2024, uncovered and overflowing dumpsters and trash can. And finally, violation of Rule 3.081D, sanitation and safety on October 27th, 2024, locked emergency exit. All those here for this case, please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kaminsky, Charles Street, representing the applicant in this case.
Admission or denial, Mr. Kaninsky?
You got the touch, don't you? Yeah. We'll make a general admission to him with some discussion as to mitigation and cumulative on the rule violations, but
All
at
right.
this point, he will make a.
Okay. Go ahead.
And in this case here,
Are you going to have them testify?
no.
Okay.
In this case here, this particular licensee has been on the license since January, since August of 2023. There was a
Although-
prior,
Yeah,
Yeah, if you look
Same
on-
licensee since 2016, though, right?
now, if you look on your comments,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, on this page here,
Okay.
it says, originally, there was a place called the Ecstasy Lounge. They had two very bad fires there where they were closed for almost 2 years. They finally were able to open and had a new licensee, the new Ecstasy Lounge, and that was transferred on August the 22nd, 2023. Some of the same parties were involved, but I mean, it's a new licensee.
I mean,
Regarding the
Why
sound,
that's relevant, though, is because they have a long history that dates back to that period. If they had just been new in 2023, they wouldn't be charged with that history.
that's what I'm trying to, it's the same thing, that it's that they're from 2023 is when these licensees were there. What they did to mitigate the situation in the case they understand about the sound, they went out and they bought a governor for the music to keep the sound at a certain level. Regarding the trash in the neighborhood, they.
Can we stop for a second?
I'm sorry.
Can you explain to me how this works?
The governor?
Yeah.
They'll, not our governor, but the governor
No.
here. They put, you get up to a certain sound as to where the sound is acceptable, and then they lock it so you can't go past that volume sound. That's done in a lot of places, so that they'll get together, and if any of your inspectors you want to come over one day, we'll go ahead and get pick a sound where they can't see, and they'll lock the governor in. You're looking to me like you're okay with that? Okay. And then regarding the sanitation, they're going to go, a lot of the neighborhood is dumping some of their same trash there, but they're going to get trash pickup twice a week now instead of just once a week. For the interior, they're having somebody they're going to assign to make sure they go to the restrooms and make sure the restrooms are in proper order. And regarding the fire department, they're going to come, guys, raise your hand, over at fire department too, I'm back there. They have the place closed since about a week or so, and they're going to come over and re-inspect the place today, so they're in conformity with all the rules and regulations of the fire department. So I think they're well on their way, to rectifying most of these things, and they've been closed for a period of time until the fire department makes their re-inspection.
Okay, and so it's your position that the two folks to your right were not on the license before 2023?
He is not on the license. Blanca was with some other people. Bijou was not necessarily on the license. There were two other people that were on there. Bijou was part of the, came on in 23 because she was related to the landlord at the time to go ahead and save the license. So the license in effect went from ecstasy to new ecstasy. Although some of the same, I'm not going to, say that some of the same parties weren't involved, but they almost lost the license for being closed for 2 years due two fires that were in the place.
Okay.
And lastly, when you look at the 308, you have 308 and 308. It's a violation of one rule, but it's two other subsections. I'll ask the board to take cognizance of that.
Okay. Anything further?
Nothing further.
Commissioners?
No question.
No questions.
Okay. All right. Anything to add? Okay. Okay. On the basis then of the materials contained in the charging documents, the proffer from counsel, which included an admission of the violations, I find a violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, on October 7, 2024, and Rule 3.09, Small 2, Restroom, on October 7, 2024. Find violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, on October 27, 2024. Violation of Rule 3.092, Restroom, on the same date. Violation of Rule 3.082, Sanitation, on October 27, and a violation of Rule 3.011, Small d, on October 27, 2024. I do think it's good that they are taking these steps. They have a lousy record. So I don't know why it's taking this long for them to come around, but maybe it's because they got counsel involved. I don't know.
Well, I like to think that, then that way it gives counsel a chance to charge more.
But you need to understand that if you come back again with this record, you could lose the license. So. Okay, so you're going to get a break today, and hopefully you'll put in place these protections that you've suggested, and Agent Perez will work with you and the governor, and hopefully the sanitation will take care of itself. All right, as to each of these violations, I'd impose a $150 fine for a total of $900, and I give them 30 days to pay.
Based on material testimony provided today, I agree with the chair's findings of each violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, $150, violation of Rule 3.092, Restroom Facilities and Health Regulations, violation 312, General Welfare, violation 3.092, Restroom Facilities and Health Regulations, violation 3.082, Sanitation Safety, and violation of 3.081D, Sanitation and Safety. Each one $150, total $900.
Based on the charging documents and the proffer made by counsel today, I also find that there was a violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, also a violation of Rule 3.09, subsection 2, Restroom Facilities and Health Regulations. Those both were on October 7, 2024. Also a violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, on October 27, 2024. Violation of Rule 3.092, Restrooms, on October 27, 2024. Violation of 3.082, Sanitation and Safety, on that same date. And also a violation of Rule 3.081D, Sanitation and Safety, on October 27, 2024. I do also agree with the chairman on this one, and fine $150 for each of those, with a total of $900 and 30 days of pay.
Ms. Russell?
Medical exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Violation Report, Inspector Brown. 2, Service Request Summary dated 10/6/24. 3, Violation Report, Inspector Ellis. And 4 through 10, Exhibits, Photos.
Okay, thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Tanya Williams Kosh, Mystic T&M Inc., trading as Mystic Tavern, 2949 Frederick Avenue, Class BD7 Beer 1 and liquor license, violation of Rule 3.12, General Welfare, on August 30th, 2024, operating the establishment with a generator, violation of Rule 4.073, open containers and illegal possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages, on August 30th, 2024, allowing patrons to drink alcoholic beverages outside which is an unlicensed part of the property, violation of Rule 3.031 records on August 30th, 2024, failing to provide alcoholic beverage receipts when requested to do so. And finally, violation of Rule 3.052, alcohol awareness certificate on August 30th, 2024, failing to provide the alcohol awareness certification when requested to do so. Please come forward.
What case number is that?
This is case number 11, Tanya Williams Kosh, Mystic T&M.
Is that you, Mr. Kosh?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Come on up to the microphone, raise your right hand, please, and all of you too, please.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Mr. Kosh, you're charged with 4 different violations on August 30, 2024. You can admit them and give us an explanation, or you can deny them and we'll have a hearing.
I just I'm a minute.
Okay, so you want to tell us what happened on that day?
Pretty much I was going through a whole bunch of personal stuff. So.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
I was going through a whole bunch of personal things for us, family, murder, and all that. So
Okay, so you were not paying attention to your business, is what you were saying?
at all,
Okay, and what's the situation today?
I'm fine.
Okay. Has anybody been back there since then? No?
It's been hard to find it open and operating since then.
Okay. So are you open?
Yeah, I'll be open every now and then, but I'm going through some. My son was murdered, so we're trying
sorry
to
to
get our
hear
family
that.
back together.
Okay. Okay, commissioners have any questions?
No question.
No questions.
So it's not a great record either. Okay. On the basis then of the materials contained in the charging documents, testimony received, including the admission of the violations, I find a violation of Rule 3.12 General Welfare on August 30, 2024, a violation of Rule 4.073 Open Containers on the same date, a violation of Rule 3.031 Records on August 30, and a violation of Rule 3.052 Alcohol Awareness Certification on August 30, 2024. So the main problem was this gas generator, is that what it was? Or
Yes.
can you gentlemen come forward? Were you sworn in?
Yes, sir.
Come on up to the
We also need-
microphone. if you
I
will.
also need people to state and spell their names.
Yeah, please.
Captain Dennis Dawson, DENNIS, Dawson, DAWSON, FPB 23, Baltimore City Fire Marshal's Office. To the left of me, Fire Inspector Michael, MICHAEL, Heinlein, HINELINE, FPB 37.
Morning,
On or about the
gentlemen.
date, good afternoon, sir. On or about the date, August 30th, as dictated in the notes, we responded on Social Club Task Force for reported fire code violations and an inimical life safety issue. Illegal use and operation and hookup by backfeeding an electric gas-powered generator to a building. This poses a substantial chance of electrical shock, electrocution, burning down the building. Okay. Immediately upon making contact with the operator complied. We had it disconnected, notified Baltimore Gas and Electric, issued a cease and desist order. The location had not had a fire prevention permit, which had expired in 2020. Within about 2 weeks after closure, the respondent did make contact, did pay for his permit through the fire prevention office, was inspected by Inspector Quincy Sheridan, and all violations reported abated. We have not had any further complaints or issues at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners have any questions?
No question.
No questions.
Okay. Mr. Williams-Kosh, you're going through understandably a very difficult time. Whether you're able to manage this business at the same time, I don't know, although it sounds like you took care of this problem.
I did.
But you've got to pay a lot of attention to this business because it doesn't have a great record, and now you've got more violations. I don't want to add insult to injury to you, but I've got to impose fines. So I'll impose a $100 fine as to each of the violations for a total of $400, and I'll give you 30 days to pay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, based on materials testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings of violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare, violation of Rule 4.073, open containers and illegal possession and consumption of alcoholic beverages, violation of Rule 3.031, records, violation of Rule 3.052, alcohol awareness certificate, fine of $100 for each one, correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So that would be $400 total.
Yes, based on the charging documents that Mission made by the licensee today, I also find a violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare, Rule 4.073, open containers and illegal possession and consumption of alcohol beverages, a violation of Rule 3.031, records, and a violation of Rule 3.052, alcohol awareness certificate. All of those happened on August 30th, 2024. I agree with the chairman, $100 nominal fine, 30 days of payout.
Ms. Russell?
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Agents Hud Hope, 2 through 4, photos.
Thank you. Hope things get better, Mr. Conley.
Yeah, good luck with you.
And, Mr. Chair, if I can interrupt, sir, what was your first name? Martin. Martin, thank you.
Case 12, Xenia M. Johns and Neil K. Vicks, Ziascos LLC, trading as Ziascos, 1313 East Pratt Street, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.05, prohibited hours on October 27, 2024, allowing patrons to remain in licensed premises after legal hours of operation. Please come forward.
Morning, everybody. Please raise your right hands.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
When you speak, if you could state and spell your name for the record?
Zena Johns, Zenia Johns.
And you are?
Jada Davis, Jada Davis.
Okay. Ms. Johns, you're charged with a violation of prohibited hours on October 27. Do you wish to admit or deny it?
Well, I admit because we were out of town at the moment. And
Can you speak up? I didn't hear you. You were out of town?
yeah, we were out of town at the time of the incident.
Okay. That happened once before. You
Yeah.
had this, is that right? No. No, I'm sorry. Well, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you accepted a
I
monetary
took full
penalty.
responsibility for that when I was there that evening.
Okay. So who manages your place when you're not there?
That particular weekend was my family member. We left them in charge while we stepped out of town.
That's not a good idea.
It wasn't. It was a bad decision.
They weren't equipped to get everything shut down at the proper time.
Yeah, I just think they
wasn't
didn't
enough.
take it as serious and dragged their feet on it.
Okay. You all want to add anything?
We haven't had any issues since.
Okay. Commissioners?
And if I could
No
get
question.
I did just state your identity.
Inspector Jordan.
Do you have any questions?
No questions.
You?
And this time you had someone else, who was watching at this time? You said a family member was the last time or this time?
This
time it was a
time,
family,
yes,
okay.
yes.
All right.
I mean, that seems to be your main problem. So
It
you've got to
is.
get somebody to manage it when you're not there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody
Hadn't
responsible.
had a problem since.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, on the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the testimony, and the admission, I find a violation of Rule 4.05, prohibited hours on October 27, 2024, and I impose a fine of $500 and give her 30 days to pay.
Yes, based on materials testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings of violation of Rule 4.05, prohibited hours with a fine of $50.
And 500.
500, I'm sorry.
Oh, that'll be cool.
I like the $50 better.
I stand corrected.
Okay. Based on the charging documents, the admission and testimony given today, also find a violation of Rule 4.05, prohibited hours on October 27, 2024. The fine will be $500 and 30 days of pay.
Ms. Russell?
I'd like to call the exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Inspector Alice, 2 through 6, photos.
Good luck, ladies.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Case 13, Kara Ark and Daniel Ark, D&D Ark, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, LLC, trading as the Twins, 4020 East Lombard Street, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation Rule 4.152, sexual practices and obscenity, on October 4th, 2024. regarding unlicensed adult entertainment in violation of Rule 3.081B, sanitation and safety, individuals smoking hookah inside of the establishment in violation of the Clean Indoor Air Act. Please come forward.
Good morning.
Morning.
Stephen Fogelman on behalf of the licensee. Mr. Arce is here to my right. These are admissions.
Okay, all right. Does he have an explanation? Do you want him sworn or not?
I don't think it's necessary. I'll be happy to offer something in mitigation here. This is usually a very rare charge to have sexual practices at a regular licensed establishment. I think when I was around, there was one of them in 7 years, and now we have 7 or more of them in just a few months. And what I believe has happened here is a promoter that is running around telling clients that they can do this, and that maybe not fully explaining the scope of the services provided. So in this case, Mr. Arce's manager had some kind of a performer in the establishment, and he fired the manager because any kind of promotion or anything like that has to go through the owner and not through a manager. That said, with respect to the hookahs, this is another thing that is sometimes confusing for licensees, but I don't know that it should be. A lot of places still have electronic hookahs, downtown bars and things like that, but just because you see that doesn't mean that you can go and light up. I mean, it's the same as a cigar, it's the same as a cigarette, and everybody knows you can't do that in a bar since 2008. So that said, these things won't happen again. These are kind of bizarre offenses, and certainly everybody's on notice that you've got to have an adult entertainment license if you're going to engage in anything remotely resembling the allegations you've heard from this report and from multiple other reports over the last couple of months. So times are tough. I mean, I hear this from all my clients, and quite frankly, times are tougher for customers in new American bars since the new presidential administration came into office. People are staying home. Even my liquor store customers say their business is down. People aren't even grabbing a bottle and going home to the basement. So this is unfortunate, and this is very much easily corrective behavior that will be corrected. So I thank you.
Anything to add,
No additional information.
commissioners?
No question.
No questions for me.
All right, thanks. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the proffer from counsel, including the admission, I find a violation of Rule 4.15, small 2, sexual practices and obscenity on October 4, 2024, and a violation of Rule 3.081, small b, sanitation and safety on the same date. It's not a terrible record, but it's not a good record. I'd impose a $300 fine as to each and give them 30 days to pay.
Yes, based on materials and testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings. A violation of Rule 4.152, sexual practice and obscenity, with a fine of $300. In violation of Rule 3.081B, sanitation and safety, with a fine of $300.
Based on the charging documents and the proffer made by counsel with admission, I also find a violation of Rule 4.152, sexual practices and obscenity, and violation of Rule 3.081B, sanitation and safety. Both of those were on October 4th, 2024. I also impose a fine of $300 on each and 30 days pay.
Ms. Russell?
Likewise, if it's for the record, Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Agent Perez.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Commissioner.
Excuse me, case number 14, Malcolm H. Delaney and Anthony Fitzgerald, So Baltimore LLC, trading as So Baltimore Sports Bar and Grill, 3734 Fleet Street. Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization on November 18th, 2024. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky representing the licensee.
Good morning. You going to admit or deny, Mr. McKenzie?
I'm probably going to just question Agent Perez very, very briefly.
Okay. Let's everybody raise their right hands.
Where's my T-shirt? Get it right there.
you swear or affirm to, do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Agent Perez, you want to tell us what happened on November 18?
Yes, Chairman. Agent Perez, Baltimore City Liquor Board. On November 18, 2024, several complaints were received for this location for disturbing the peace. At approximately 9:50 p.m., I arrived to the establishment and began to make exterior observations. While parked directly across the street of the establishment, I didn't observe any disturbances happening in the outside. The music was determined to be at acceptable volume. I also did not observe any patrons causing disturbance in the neighborhood, as it was stated in one of the complaints. At approximately 10:10 p.m., I exited my vehicle and I started walking towards the establishment when I heard a male voice speaking over the music through a microphone. I entered the establishment through a side door where I observed a disc jockey actively performing with full DJ equipment directly to my right, confirming what I had just heard outside. I made contact with the manager, Ms. Leticia Chambers, and I informed her of the violation. I departed the establishment at approximately 10:30 p.m. with nothing further to report.
Let me just ask you, Leticia is here, right?
Yes.
All right. And are you sure that the person you saw that had the microphone was a DJ?
Yes,
And what were they saying?
I do not recall.
Could it be they were exercising the microphone and offering specials, or you don't know? If you don't know, I'm not going to try
I
to
just
put...
can't tell you what they were saying over the microphone.
Okay, but there was no disturbance outside, no disturbance inside. Your prime complaint here, not your complaint for the liquor board, is that they were, with the DJ, was operating without live entertainment authorization, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, I have no further questions.
You want to present anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm just, Leticia, come on up here a second. Real quick, I'll make it.
And if she can state and spell her full name.
State your name and address and spell for me.
Letitia, Latisha, last name Chambers, Chambers.
All right, now you were there that day, sir, and you're the manager, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, now, there is a microphone there, is that correct?
Yes.
And that microphone is, what is it used for?
It's a house microphone to announce specials if we're doing drink specials or something for
So,
happy hour.
When you say when you say house microphone, it's used by somebody there to advertise, say you had margaritas for a certain time or
Yes.
shrimp and so forth. Was there a DJ playing on that day?
No.
Okay. And you understand, of course, that you can't, until the board approves the live entertainment, have any kind of live entertainment. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. And in fact, you was approved by the zoning board for live entertainment, and there's an application pending with the liquor board for a hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And other than that, you have with you big guys, right? There's Mr. Fitzgerald, Mr. Delaney, and then you have the security people. So you maintain a pretty tight ship there. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Let me submit the resolution from liquor board, from the zoning board. I'm sorry.
It will be received.
That's where there may be some confusion, and there is an application pending for a hearing, which you're not going to schedule until after you have this, but they were approved back last year for live entertainment with the...
Before or after the last time they were here?
I think it was like in between when they had the hearing and they actually got the resolution, so I can't...
And is it the intent to have a DJ? Is that what they want to do?
Yeah, eventually, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All
And
right.
that'll be all. So, I think there was, when they had the hearing from the BMZA, they were under misconception when they were approved by the BMZA. Years ago, I don't think any of you remember, but there used to be, that you didn't need the liquor board approval on it. And when the former chairman took, it was the case went up to circuit court and said I was right, and then they had to put it in the legislature. So they have it pending. So I think it was just a mistake. They wasn't loud or noisy or anything. In this case, like, take them.
Okay. Commissioners have anything?
So you say it wasn't loud or noisy?
No, he said it was not.
Okay. And
He said, in fact,
around this microphone, is there like a DJ booth or?
There's an area,
So we have a setup.
you gotta
So
say your name and address for the record.
Malcolm Delaney, MALCOLMDELANEY. So like he said, once we had the last hearing, we were under the impression that we were okay with the DJ booth setup. So we did autoplay, like everything is played through Sonos system. Like you said, the microphone is not even connected to the DJ. It's like an Amazon microphone that's Bluetooth. So that was our impression. Then we figured out, we had the microphone violation, and that's how we got to this. But we were under the impression that we were okay until we heard that we had to go back to the liquor board for them to put the actual approval on the license. So that was the mistake that we made. But with DJs, whatever, like we had a brunch, a Sunday brunch, and then we had some other things going on. So we promoted it, but we told him he couldn't actively play anything. It would have to be an autoplay. And like you said, we play it through a Sonos system. It's not like loud. You can't hear it. Like it, for sure, it wasn't a noise violation. You barely can hear it from, like you said, from across the street. You can't hear it. So we definitely take accountability if we were loud, but we are never that loud.
Okay, so he just played it through a system?
Yeah, it's just on we have everything. You can see it on the phone. It's a playlist. We made sure, we have documents for him, just telling him that he can't, actively DJ. We can play through an automated system.
Okay.
What you're asking is, and I'm old enough to remember this, well, maybe I'm not, but we used to have to do karaoke years ago. They had a different way. Now what you do is you go right on the system, you pick up the song, which you want secondhand rows, you put it there, numbers, and you go, everything's all automated nowadays. And that's how things are done. Same thing when they want to do specials and things, we have a shrimp special, margaritas. So we want to get the hearing, but they can't schedule the hearing in front of you until this is resolved. And I think it's I think to use that for a de minimis type situation.
Okay. Anything further?
Nothing.
All right. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the proffer from counsel, the testimony received, I find a violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization on November 18, 2024. I'd impose a $250 fine and give them 30 days to pay.
Yes, based on materials, testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings. A violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization with a fine of $250.
Based on charging documents, proffer made by counsel and testimony given today, I also find a violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization, $250 fine, 30 days pay.
Ms. Russell?
Like all exhibits for the record, Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Agent Perez. 2, service request dated 11/18/24. 3, service request dated 11/18/24. 4, service request dated 11/18/24. 5, zoning resolution.
We'll see you folks back here on your hearing on the live entertainment.
We can sing some songs together.
It reminds me of my old colleague, Judge John Priebus.
Brother Dupree.
Yeah,
That was the song
karaoke.
he used to sing.
Daruba Raj Anta, BDU Nepal LLC, trading as Bristol Liquors, 501 South Broadway. Class BD7 Beer Wine Liquor License, violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minors on October 10, 2024. Please come forward.
Abraham Hurdle on behalf of Bristol Liquors.
Good morning. Admission or denial, Mr. Hurdle?
It's an admission.
Okay.
My understanding is that this location has a couple of violations in their past. I don't think any more recent violations, but I do think they were, I believe they were underage service.
In 23.
This is a location I've been representing for, God, I think it's almost 12 years now, unfortunately, in terms of time, not representing them. They're wonderful. We'll work on changing the rules and making sure everything tightens up. We're going to get everyone alcohol awareness certified so that there are no issues in the future. It just seems to be something that slips through the cracks every once in a while. We're going to try to make sure that doesn't happen again. This is the place that I go to when I have a couple drinks or pick up a case of beer. They do a really good job. It's a family establishment. My anticipation is that it was a family member as opposed to licensee who did the service, and I anticipate they were cooperative and polite with the inspectors as they're encouraged to be. Would that be accurate?
They were cooperative.
Okay.
And, yeah, we would just ask for the board to minimize the fine to whatever degree they're able to, and hope that we're not back before you anytime soon.
Commissioners?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the proffer from counsel, including the admission, I find a violation of Rule 4.01, small 1, sale to minors on October 10, 2024. This is the third time in the last 10 years, I'd impose a $625 fine and give them 30 days to pay.
Mr. Chair, you say 625?
Yes.
Yes, based on materials and testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings. A violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minors with a fine of $625.
Based on the charging documents submission made through the proper counsel, I also find a violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minor on October 10th, 2024, $625, 30 days to pay.
Ms. Russell?
Michael Exhibits for the record, Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Inspector Jordan, 2 photos.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, good luck.
Thank you.
Case 17, Terrence Dixon, New Terra Cafe LLC, trading as New Terra Cafe, 101 East 25th Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization on October 1st, 2024, engaging in live entertainment after the hours that were approved by BMZA. Violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare on October 1st, 2024, loud music. Violation of Rule 3.092, restroom facilities and health regulations on October 1st, 2024. Violation of Baltimore City Health Code, Section 9-3062, little I. And finally, violation of Rule 3.02A, cooperation on October 1st, 2024, failing to produce a use and occupancy permit when requested to do so. Please come forward.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Dixon?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Are you Mr. Dixon?
Yes, sir.
Would you raise your right hand and those folks who...
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon, would you like to admit or deny these claims?
You know, to be very honest with you, my hearing's a little soft, so I didn't hear all of it.
Do you want me to speak up?
Yes.
I said, would you like to admit these violations and explain them, or deny them and have a hearing?
I'll explain. This is basically, I think I was here about maybe 30 or 60 days ago with the same things, the
Yes.
challenging of
Back in
zoning
October.
time for the entertainment.
Yeah.
We discussed what needed to be done to actually go to zoning and to get that change. We also shared an outline of the times that I could operate. So this happened before the discussion of me being put in the right way. You know what I mean, in reference to what has to be done. All right, so, you know, I was fined at that time. Thank you so much for the small fine and the extra time. But yet still, I'm still that small business trying to get back open. And these things, I do have the outline of doing right now.
And you understand the hours that you're allowed to do this entertainment, right?
Yeah, you know what, I have the MOU, and that's the part that we're gonna talk about. It's about 16 years old, so I'm gonna be back to zoning again to ask them to up it a little bit. You know, this is a gospel, but most of the stuff that I have in my place is jazz, gospel, and it's not to the edge, you know? So,
Okay.
we will be, you know, asking again. So we ask you can be very kind with us today, and hopefully not a fine, because we've already got that lesson learned already.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
Nothing further.
Commissioners?
No
So
questions,
everything's okay with the cooperation since then?
What was the question?
Cooperation?
On the day of the summons, there was a small confrontation with Mr. Dixon, but it wasn't nothing major.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. On the basis then of the materials contained in the charging documents, the testimony received, and the admission, I find a violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization, a violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare, violation of Rule 3.09, small 2, restroom facilities and health regulations, and a violation of Rule 3.02, small a, cooperation, all on October 1, 2024. I'd impose a $100 fine as to each for $400 and give them 30 days to pay.
If I could trouble you, if I could ask for the extension of an additional 30 days. We still haven't opened yet. We're doing just a little bit of
That's
catering.
fine.
and
60
stuff.
days is fine. 60 days is fine.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, based on materials testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings of violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization of $100. Violation of Rule 3.112, general welfare, fine $100. Violation of Rule 3.092, restroom facilities and health regulations, fine $100. And violation of Rule 3.02A, cooperation with a fine of $100.
Based on the charging documents and testimony given today, through the admission, I also find a violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization, violation of Rule 3.12, general welfare, violation of Rule 3.092, restroom facilities and health regulations, and a violation of Rule 3.02A, cooperation. All of those occurred on October 1st, 2024. Also agree with the chair with a nominal fine of $100 for each of those violations, a total of $400, and 60 days of pay.
Ms. Russell?
Like cause this for the record, violation. Exhibit number 1, violation report, Inspector Perez. 2, service request summary dated 10/1/24.
Thank you. Next case.
Case 18, Kaysen M. Ahmed and Suad A. Ahmed, Sunlight Lounge, Inc., trading as Enigma Bar and Restaurant, 1713 through 15, Eastern Avenue, Class D, Beer, Wine, and Liquor License. Violation of Rule 4.01, sales to minors on October 10, 2024. Please come forward.
Good morning. Gentlemen, what are your names?
Qasim Ahmed.
Good morning, Mr. Ahmed. And you?
Diego Medina.
Okay,
Diego Medina.
okay, Mr. Marina?
Medina.
Medina,
Yes.
okay. And you?
Alex Rivera.
Okay. Can you raise your right hands, please? I think you all have been sworn, but
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It is.
okay, who's going to speak for you?
That's me.
Okay. So you're charged with the sale to minor on October 10. Do you want to admit and explain it or deny it?
Yes, it's like, is it
You
the
got to speak up a little. I'm old.
So, it's apologize, I'm sorry, I don't understand what's going on this day. And I paid for my stay, for everything this night. And I'm so sorry and I apologize. I won't again later.
Okay. So you're saying that it was a mistake, right?
Yes.
Okay. Although you made this mistake back a while ago, but it's been some time, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Any problems with him?
No issues at all.
Okay. Commissioners?
No questions.
No questions here.
All right. Thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents and the testimony received, including an admission, I find a violation of Rule 4.01, small 1, sale to minor on October 10, 2024. And I impose a fine of $500 and give him 30 days to pay.
Yes, based on materials and testimony provided today, I also agree with Chair's findings of violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minors with a fine of $500.
Based on the charging documents and the testimony given today, I also find there was a violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minors on October 10, 2024, $500 fine, 30 days of pay.
Ms. Russell?
Like cause exhibits for the record, violation report, Inspector Jordan, and exhibit number 2, photo.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Case 19, Shelley Gordon and Dolores Riker, Silver Lud, Inc., trading as Circus Bar, 427 East Baltimore Street, Class BD7 Beer, Wine, and Liquor License, Class A Adult Entertainment License. Violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minor on October 10th, 2024. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin G. Dempsey representing the LIC. Ms. Dolores is here. She had to go for medical reasons to the restroom, but I think we can go forward. You know, she's
Okay.
88 years old, so I, you know, been working there forever, I think, since Prohibition.
Commissioners or not?
I mean, is a cadet here? Come on up here, Sam. Jim, can I just ask him a couple of questions, and I think we'll be in admission,
Yes.
but it's very quick.
But can you identify yourself, please?
Michael Sewell, Mykellsewell.
Were you sworn in, sir?
No, sir.
Will you raise your right hand, please?
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Just very briefly, when you went in, did you go in by yourself?
No.
Who was with you?
Two other deputies.
And did any of the deputies tell the lady who was just sitting there, she'll be back in a second, that it was your birthday?
Yes.
And she said, I'm going to buy you a drink on your birthday. Isn't that what she said to you?
No.
What did she say?
I can't recall.
All right, so, but you got 2 drinks.
Just one.
And did you pay for it?
Yes.
But then first, she didn't want to take any money because she said it was your birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. None of the problem.
Okay. It wasn't your 21st birthday, was it?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Okay, commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No questions. They cooperative?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
In this case here, there is no record. Looks like back in 2015, there was something there that had nothing to do with minors. Dolores, no, she's 88 years old, been working there forever. She thought it was his birthday. Did the wrong thing.
Okay.
You know.
All right. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, the testimony received, I find a violation of Rule 4.01, Small 1, sale to minors on October 10, 2024. I'd impose a $250 fine and give her 30 days to pay.
Yes, based on materials, testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings, a violation of Rule 4.011, sales to minors with a fine of $250.
Based on the charging documents, properly by council and the testimony given today, I also found a violation of Rule 4.011, sales of minors, impose a $250 fine, 30 days pay.
Ms. Russell?
Like exhibits for the record, Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Inspector Jordan, and 2, photo.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Case 20, Juliana McGuire Sangria LLC, trading as Sangria, 930 North Charles Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 3.082, sanitation and safety on November 11, 2024. Uncovered trash can and overflowing dumpster. Violation of 3.011, ownership and operation on November 15th. Failure to disclose financial interest of Obalabo Nwoko. Violation of Rule 4.202, specific requirements and prohibited activities by license type on November 15th, 2024. A failure to maintain an operating kitchen and lack of food to be prepared and served. Violation of Rule 3.08, 1B, sanitation and safety on November 15, 2024. Individuals smoking hookah inside the establishment in violation of the Clean Indoor Act. Violation of Rule 3.033, records on November 15, 2024, failing to provide employee records when requested to do so. And finally, violation of Rule 3.031, records, failing to provide receipts of alcoholic beverage purchases when requested to do so. Please come forward.
Good morning. Are you Mr. McGuire?
No, I'm Mr. Okibo Nwoko.
Can you spell your name, please?
Okeiigbo, last name Nwoko.
And what is your relationship to Sangria?
So I'm the new owner
Okay.
as of November 1st, 2024.
Oh, are you on the license?
We're doing a transfer.
That hasn't happened
That
yet.
hasn't happened yet.
Okay. Do you wish to admit or deny these violations?
I would like to explain.
You can do that, but do you want to admit that it
I'll
happened?
admit.
Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
it did happen.
Mr. Chair, I need to swear him in, right?
Oh, please, yes, I'm sorry, I
No
forgot.
problem. Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Nwoko?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so first I'd like to acknowledge with Inspector Perez, it was a pleasure working with him and him guiding me through the process. So I think the inspection took place shortly after I had taken possession, right? I did get my own dumpster. The previous owner's dumpster was still directly behind, so mine was actually the next building over. I've since moved that. So while there was dumping there, I've always had this from Waste Management, should be dated November 6th.
I'm sorry, you're handing me what, this is,
That's an email from Waste Management when my service commenced.
okay, so you've engaged them to
Yes.
take your trash away?
Yes.
Okay, well, that would be received.
And this was a week before the inspection. So there were 2 dumpsters there. Whatever was happening prior with the other owner and that overflowing, I'm not sure. I do admit to the area not being kept clean, which is my responsibility, so we've tried to adhere to that. With regard to documentation, liquor receipts and so forth, my explanation then was I had been burglarized twice. And a lot of my stuff was just gone, and we're just trying to get ourselves together. Again, burglarized this past Monday, which I was almost stabbed in that altercation. Well, not altercation, but attack.
Sure this is a good idea to run this place?
So I am aware that the place comes with a history. I've preemptively met with the community leaders, and shared our vision with the place. I understand that food is an issue of not being served. Between myself and my managing chef, we have all the equipment needed, but we, in good conscience, didn't want to serve food out of there. So we've been in there night and day trying to get the place ready to go.
So this place, the previous owner had problems with the community.
Yes.
Did they get those resolved?
There was an MOU in place
Yeah.
as far as what was resolved. I did speak with Jack Dana and the president, I forget her name. I called them and met them and heard their consternations. And then once I applied for the transition or the transfer, we're gonna sit down and figure out another MOU. So that's, I know one of the biggest things was food. That's a sample menu. I'm actually a chef by training. My assistant manager over there also has owned restaurants, and we're passionate about food, so that's something that we're definitely going to be bringing. Just in terms of how the place was currently, we couldn't bring food in there with good conscience. So there was a lot of problems with the building. So we've done actually a lot of work that was not, you can't see it just going in terms of pipes that had to be repaired. A lot of money has been spent in bringing the place up to par. I do have a estimate from a contractor that'll be doing work there. So it's mainly cosmetic up on the upper levels, but there's a lot of, things we need to do to bring the building up to par and to be a good neighborhood establishment. In terms of again, going back to the waste management, I was fined for that by environmental citation order. I have paid that.
What was the amount of the fine?
It was $100, $200 fines. Tight fitting lid, I like to say I did pay it, but I'm not satisfied with that because there is an apartment building next to me. I've caught them dumping in my dumpster, which the landlord told them to use my dumpster. They have no dumpster, so it's kind of like I'm the easy target. So here's the fine and the payment for that.
Okay.
Other than that, like I said, Inspector Perez was great, I think, very amicable. I don't know everything, but he was willing to tell me what needs to be done to cure certain things. I do ask for 30 days to have the place up and running in terms of the kitchen and everything being done, based on lead times with just furniture and some equipment that we also need.
Okay. Is that accurate? He's working with you to try to get his place together?
Yes, I made some suggestions. The kitchen as of right now is still non-operational, which is a minimum required for his class license.
Okay. So how long is it going to take to get that done?
The kitchen will be done by mid-month, actually, but the entire building will be done by the end of March.
And were you able to get your records back together? They've all been-
It's the management agreement that you wanted the rest of, yeah.
Okay.
The rest of the records I will have also in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nwoko. I apologize. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, testimony received, and the admission, I find a violation of Rule 3.08, Small 2, Sanitation and Safety on November 11, 2024, in violations of Rule 3.011, Ownership and Operation, Rule 4.20, Small 2, Specific Requirements and Prohibited Activities, Rule 308, Small 1, Small b, Sanitation and Safety, Rule 3033, Records, and Rule 3031, Records, all of those occurring on November 15, 2024. I understand you're trying to get it together, and you've already paid a fine. I'd impose $50 fines as to each of these, but I have to tell you, you're telling us you're going to get it together, but you better do it, or else the next time.
Totally understand. When the police report, we were coming out of there this Monday when we got, the burglar came and accosted us. So we're in there day and night trying to get it together.
All right, give you 30 days to pay the $300. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Commissioners.
Commissioners?
What do you need?
Yes.
Yes, based on materials, testimony provided today, I agree with the chair's findings. Violation of Rule 3.082, sanitation and safety. November, violation of Rule 3.011, ownership and operation. Violation of Rule 4.202, specific requirements and prohibited activities by license type. Violation of Rule 3.081B, sanitation and safety. Violation of Rule 3.033, records. And violation of Rule 3.031, records. $50 fine for each violation.
Based on the charging documents, testimony given today, and the exhibits that were admitted also, I do find a violation of Rule 3.082, sanitation and safety, violation of Rule 3.011, ownership and operation, violation of Rule 4.202, special requirements, prohibited activities by license type, violation of 3.021B, sanitation and safety, violation of 3.033 records, and violation of Rule 3.031 records. In light of your testimony that you're getting everything together, we understand that I think you took possession, days before. The first violation was on November 11, 2024. The rest of the violations were on November 15, 2024. You stated that you took ownership on November 1st, 2024, and that you're getting things together. I do agree with the sheriff. $50 nominal fine for each of those, $300 total fine, 30 days to pay.
Ms. Russell?
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Agent Perez, dated 11/11/24. 2, violation report, Agent Perez, dated 11/15/24. 3, email. 4, menu. 5, contractor estimate. 6, environmental control board violation payment. And 7, management agreement.
Yes, good luck.
Thank you.
Final two cases were offered monetary penalty in lieu of hearing settlements that were rejected. Case 21, Gerardo Garcia Sanchez, Garcia Restaurant LLC, trading as Carnitas Rocio, 500 South Wolf Street, Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of Rule 4.14, live entertainment without authorization on October 19, 2024. Violation of Rule 4.202, prohibited activities by license type on October 19, 2024. Having a refrigerator that was empty and unplugged. The kitchen was not operational and was being used for storage. Violation of Rule 3.052, alcohol awareness certification on October 19, 2024. Failing to produce an alcohol awareness certificate. And finally, violation of Rule 3.031, records on October 19, 2024, failing to produce receipts for alcohol purchases, although licensee had received a warning for same on 9/21/24. Please come forward.
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the licensee, Mr. Garcia Sanchez, who is to my right.
Morning. You want to admit or deny?
Well, it's one of my pet peeves, so I'm going to deny the 4.14 and admit everything else.
Okay. Who's going to testify for us on 4.14?
On October 19, 2024, 201 complaints number 24-00905-719 for loud music was received. We responded to the location at approximately 11 p.m. As we approached the location, we observed the front door open and music could be heard from a distance. We entered the location and advised the operator, Ernesto Rivera Garcia, of the complaint received. Once inside the establishment, we requested to see license and permits. Mr. Rivera produced an expired liquor license and a valid alcohol awareness. We requested to see fire permit, health permit, trader's license, and a valid liquor license. Rivera Garcia stated that all documents requested were located on the first floor, which he did not have access to it. We proceeded to conduct an inspection of the establishment and observed that the second floor kitchen was inoperable and being used as a liquor storage / trash room. The refrigerators were empty and unplugged. We asked him if there was any food available for service. Rivera Garcia stated that all food was on the first floor kitchen and he didn't have access to that kitchen. We also noticed a disc jockey actively performing with a laptop, turntables, earphone, hard drive, and amplified speakers. We also went to check the emergency door exit, which was found locked with a double-sided bolt lock. We asked for invoices for alcohol awareness dated prior to 9/21/24, because at that time he couldn't provide any. Mr. Rivera Garcia still couldn't produce those invoices for the stock that was observed on a prior inspection on 9/21/24 by Inspector Jordan. Rivera Garcia was notified of the violations, and inspectors and agents left without any further issues.
Do you have questions?
Yeah, very briefly, thank you. Agent Perez, you've indicated that the DJ was actively performing. What do you mean by that?
A person is on a designated DJ booth, playing music, turntables, cueing the next song, and such as this.
Okay, what do you mean by, what kind of DJ booth did you say?
There was a designated room with all DJ equipment prior describing my report.
In a next room? What kind of, in the next room? Is that what you said? I'm so sorry.
A designated room.
Designated room, thank you. Okay, all right. So, but at no time did you see a microphone in operation?
I do not recall a microphone.
And at no time did you hear anybody say, Feliz cumpleaños, Maria?
Not at all.
At no time did you hear anybody singing with the microphone? No instruments?
No instruments.
No magic show?
Nope.
No dance troupe?
No.
All right. I thank you. And with the manager, was he polite and cooperative?
He was.
All right. Thank you very much, Agent Perez. All right.
Anything else?
No, that's all on my end, except for mitigation.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I still, the enforcement of live entertainment is still at odds with the city code. In that if there's not a microphone, if there's not a live performance, if it's simply somebody changing a disc, it's the same as a jukebox, and it shouldn't be live entertainment. I'll have a more august attorney maybe someday, like Mr. Previs, take that to the state Supreme Court. But in the meantime, I understand that this is the policy of the board. So we're not going to argue that any further. Next, this is another place that's hit some hard times, and they have two kitchens in the establishment. They did have both of them shut down at the time of the visit, and you don't have to have two kitchens. You do have to have one. It does have to work. They suffered damage to hoods in both kitchens and a stove that broke in the first floor kitchen. The repairs cost thousands of dollars. They've got one kitchen ready to be inspected by fire and health, and then they'll have the green light to open that kitchen again. They understand that at Class B, you've simply got to have an open, fully functioning kitchen with food and a menu, et cetera, et cetera. So for that, they understand that you can't do that, and they won't do it again. With respect to the records and alcohol awareness certificate, yeah, this is unfortunate because I think in the report it even said that the manager gave him an expired liquor license. Well, we know they've got a good liquor license, or the agency would have put a big white sign on them months ago, and it would be a more serious matter. Of course, they had a valid liquor license at the time of the visit, and really what they're doing, what everybody does and what you've got to do is just put these things on the wall. You're not going to put your receipts on the wall, but you're going to put your liquor license on the wall. You're going to put your alcohol awareness on the wall and make it easier for the inspectors to come in and make it easier for the manager who doesn't necessarily deal with the intricacies of the rules and regulations as much as a licensee is inspected to. Mr. Garcia Sanchez can't be there all the time. And in fact, just like the license and the current alcohol awareness, which I have a copy on my phone here, Mr. Philippidis did alcohol awareness certification for Mr. Sanchez's son in 2022, and I know they're good for 5 years, so they have a valid and had a valid alcohol awareness certificate that doesn't expire until August 7th, 2027. Nevertheless, the law says you have to have it, and you have to have it there to show the inspectors. So they failed in that regard. And with respect to receipts, I don't know that employers don't necessarily want employees to go through receipts. I mean, it's a very important document for them, for taxes, for compliance, but it's really a communication issue with the manager, and it's as simple as, here's where the file is. I don't want you to touch it, but if an inspector comes in, you need to pull these things out. With respect to the certificate for alcohol awareness liquor license, just put that on the wall, make it easy for everybody. It's one of these things where I still think it falls short of a violation in the city code for live entertainment, but now you're on notice. You can't do it anymore until you go to zoning. That seems to be the policy. And let me just say one other thing. We talked about, in fact, this might be the first rejected monetary penalty in lieu of hearing, but I think rejection is a little strong. It's more of he wanted to have me declined, exactly. He wanted me to come here and explain this to you.
I understand.
And he's going to pay $125 extra for the pleasure, so with respect to the hearing fee. So I don't want, and I certainly hope that declining to pay the monetary penalty puts you in any prejudice, because his English is not good, and he really wanted to explain this. And unfortunately, you don't necessarily get a chance to explain it when you pay the penalty. And sometimes maybe that's good. Maybe you'd rather not explain it, but in his case, he wanted to explain it.
Does he understand all these things now?
He does.
Okay. Because, I mean, he doesn't have prior violations.
Yeah, in fact, I ate there during COVID because they are a restaurant. And so, I could go in there and eat and have a beer. And so, the food was good, but you got to get those kitchens open unless you want to go find a BD7, and they are expensive these days.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the charging documents, testimony received, and the admissions, I find a violation of Rule 4.14 live entertainment without authorization, a violation of Rule 4.20 small 2 prohibited activities by license type, violation of Rule 3.052 alcohol awareness certification, and a violation of Rule 3.031 records, all on October 19, 2024. I'd impose a $300 fine as to each for $1,200 and give him 30 days to pay.
Yes, based on material testimony provided today, I also agree with the chair's findings. A violation of Rule 4.14 live entertainment without authorization, of $300 fine. Violation of Rule 4.202 prohibited activities by license type with a fine of $300. Violation of Rule 3.052 alcoholic awareness certificate with a fine of $300. Violation of Rule 3.031 records with a fine of $300.
Based on the charging documents, the proffer made by counsel also found a violation of Rule 4.14 live entertainment without authorization, violation of Rule 4.202 prohibited activities, violation of Rule 3.052 alcohol awareness certificate, violation of Rule 3.031 records. All of those happened on October 19, 2024. I also impose a $30 fine for each, $1,200 total, 30 days of pay.
Ms. Russell?
Like exhibits for the record, Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Inspector Ellis. Board Exhibit 2 through 11, photos.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Final case, George Criticos, 36 South Utah, Inc., training as Goddess, 36 through 38 South Utah Street. Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, and Class AE adult entertainment license. Violation of Rule 4.081, relation with wholesalers. Pardon me, on September 2024, purchasing alcohol from an establishment that is not a licensed manufacturer or wholesaler, in violation of Rule 3.031, records on September 2024, failing to produce records, alcohol purchase records. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky at 320 North Charles Street. I just have a few questions. I don't deny exactly the way it happened, but I think it would be more an explanation if I could just ask one of the inspectors.
You want your people sworn in?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody raise their right hands.
Do you swear or affirm on independently perjure that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And who was the person that, I'm sorry.
Inspector,
Inspector Tuttle.
go, you want to
Yeah.
tell us about these?
Go ahead, might as well say it.
On September 20th at approximately 11:18, Agent Tudhope and Inspector Jordan were parked on the corner of Lombard and Utah Street when we observed a white male, leaving through the side door of the establishment known as the Goddess, located at 36 to 38 Utah Street. We observed the white male walk to the entrance of Lombard Liquors, enter it at 402 Lombard Street. After a few minutes, the same individual exited the Lombard Liquors and walked back into the side door of the Goddess with a bag. After seeing this, myself and Inspector Jordan went to Lombard Liquors and asked the gentleman, the cashier working, what the individual had just purchased. He informed us that the individual had purchased 2 pints of Hennessy for $52.30 and had paid in cash for them. Inspector Jordan then inquired that if that individual has come in often before, and he stated yes. We then proceeded to the Goddess and made contact with Mr. Crixos, as identified by his Maryland driver's license. I asked him to please show me where he kept his Hennessy. He then proceeded to the bar area, reached up to where it was the bar, the alcohol is displayed, took 2 pints of Hennessy off the bar and tried to discreetly pass them to the bartender. I asked the bartender to please show me what he had just handed her, and it was the 2 pints of Hennessy. I then asked Mr. Crixios to please show me any invoices for the purchase of those 2 pints of Hennessy. He stated he did not know where they came from. I informed him that we had just observed a white male working in his DJ booth at that time go to the liquor store and buy the liquor. I asked him again if he had any invoices for the Hennessy pints that were displayed. He said he was unable to provide us with any invoices for the Hennessy, and I issued the violation, and we left without any further incident.
You have questions?
Did you take the Hennessy?
No.
Did you ask him if he had records of purchases, or just sort of asked him about the Hennessy only?
I asked him if he had records of the purchases of the Hennessy, the pints.
Did you ask him if he had other records of purchase?
No.
All right, so the only thing you were asking him was about the Hennessy.
Yes.
So he had other records, or you don't know if he had other records for his other purchases?
I believe he had other records, yes.
So he had regular purchases, he just didn't have the Hennessy?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't have any problems with him there, right?
No, he was cooperative.
Okay. You want to step up here, Mr. Oriole?
Mr. Oriole.
All right. State your name and address for the record, please.
David Collins
You don't
of,
have to bend over.
I'm a DJ, I got a loud
Go
voice.
ahead.
David Collins, 4219 Necker Avenue, Nottingham, Maryland.
And you were a DJ at that location, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You're an independent contractor? You
Yes,
don't-
sir.
All right, so you're not an employee?
No.
You didn't doubt, there's no doubt that you went over and got this Hennessy next door, right?
Oh, I
George?
absolutely did.
Well, tell the board why you did this, because you're hurting this man's license. Go ahead.
So I went over there. My cousin was coming down. I don't get to see him much. He informed me that he was coming. Sorry, I got like a sore throat. He's coming down to see me, and he's going to stay for a couple days. And he wanted to have a drink, and so I went over, purchased 2 bottles of Hennessy. That's what my cousin likes. I asked the bartender, take these, can you make me 2 drinks? Because I'm not a bartender, I don't know how to make drinks, really. And that's about it, and I was going to take him home for hanging out tomorrow, the next day.
Did Mr. Criticos know did you do that?
No.
All right, so you did it without his knowledge?
Yes, sir.
You understand that they don't sell pints of Hennessy in the Goddess, do they?
Right, yeah, I got them for myself.
And
It
then-
had nothing to do with the bar.
And the liquor store is right next door?
Yes, I go over there when I'm work. I go get my cigarettes, my chips, my candy. So yeah, I'm over there a lot. If I want a soda,
No further questions.
all right.
The argument is that, A, the licensee didn't buy the Hennessy. A person who was an independent contractor bought the Hennessy without his knowledge and brought them next door. There's not that they didn't have records. They didn't have records for the Hennessy, which he bought. So he wouldn't have the records for the Hennessy. So I don't, technically, he would have had on his premises alcohol that was not purchased from a wholesaler, but it wasn't purchased by him, it was done by somebody outside, as though, I can remember when I was in the business, people would bring in miniatures in their pockets and they would drink and so forth without the licensee knowing. So I would think that in this case, it would ask for the benefit of the doubt with regard to the Goddess in this case. Not the kind of thing you see happening there all the time. And I think if you know where the Goddess is, their claim to fame is that Babe Ruth attended bar there, not while they were adult entertainment. Number 2, they had a big fire there. Next door, the liquor store burned down. They were shut down for probably 10 days so they could get them, they could get open. So I'd like the board to take that into consideration. That's the only reason why I think they want to have an explanation. Again, once again, they did not deny, they rejected, or however you want to say it.
Yeah, that's fine. Did you want to add anything?
I have a copy of the invoice for you as
I think it's in our record.
in record. Okay.
That's from the liquor store,
Yes, sir.
not for him. That doesn't say sold to the Goddess.
Nope.
Okay, that's fine.
Did you ever speak to, so you did speak to Mr. Kritkos, right?
Criticos.
I did, yes.
And what did he tell you when you,
He said he did not know where that liquor came from.
have you had problems with him in the past?
No.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
No, I just want to state that, Mr. Chair, that that one of the bottles was, the report, one of the bottles was open and used, correct?
Correct.
So he admits that, yeah, he does.
And did you talk to Mr. Collins?
I did not. He was in the DJ booth when we came inside.
All right.
So you pour a drink there and take it into your booth with you? Is that what you do?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't buy those at the bar?
No.
Does he know that you don't buy from him?
I mean, it's kind of expensive. It's hard times right now.
Okay. Okay. Nothing further?
No, and I'm saying that it's not that they didn't have records, that they had records for his purchases. He didn't have a record for the purchase that the gentleman here made, and he didn't make the purchase and didn't indicate, he didn't tell Mr. Criticos that he did it.
Mr. Chair, I just have a
Go
question.
ahead, go, please.
Is it against the law of ruling because the liquor board that employees, staff, DJs, whatever, even patrons aren't allowed to bring alcohol into the bar and drink at the bar?
No, yeah, it is.
Huh?
No, they're not allowed to, but the rule is that the only beverages purchased from by the licensee from a licensed wholesaler are, to be, unless you have a corkage, which doesn't apply in this case, to bring it in. But that's not to say, like I told you before, people would bring in, if you were in the business, they would bring in miniatures, half pints, in and drink because when I'd clean the restroom, and I'd find them in there, and because they didn't want to pay for a drink. In this case, see, he indicated, it wasn't very expensive to buy a drink at the Goddess for him.
How long have you DJ'd there?
I've known him about 20 years, on and off, and I would go help him on Saturday nights, Friday nights sometimes.
Do you do anything else other than DJing there? Do you help in other aspects?
I DJ all over.
I mean, here at the Goddess?
No.
You just DJ, that's it? You just DJ? Is that the only thing you do there?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
I would do.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
Thank you.
Nothing else?
Nothing else.
Well, I don't know if the other commissioners are going to agree with me, but I dismiss these violations. But it's up to them.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, based on materials and testimony provided today, I do agree with the chair's findings that you are, what, dismissing?
I would dismiss the
Dismiss.
violations. I mean, look, if the owner was purchasing from other than wholesalers, I think that we would have a serious problem. I don't think you should be doing what you're doing. I don't know that he is responsible for that, so. And don't do it again.
No, I can't drink in my house, so no.
Yeah. I'll agree with the chair on this one. I believe the licensee didn't know what was going on.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Are we dismissing the administrative fee?
Yes.
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, violation report, Agent Tudhope. Exhibits 2 through 5, photos.
Thank you.
There being no further business before this board, the board is in recess until Thursday, March 13, 2025, at 10:30 a.m. We are adjourned.
Thank you, folks.
Good job. All right.
Hey.